Hey, it's Mike from the Life In Attleboro Podcast. I want to tell you about a special offer from our sponsor, Confidence Fitness, that just got even better. Their Black Friday deal is underway right now, and it lasts until December 31st, only for Life In Attleboro members. I've recently told you about their 2-week Jumpstart program for $99. Well, now it's only $59. Here's what you get. 6 small group personal training sessions so you can start building strength and muscle. You'll get their food and mood journal to get you thinking about what foods to eat and how they impact your body and mind. And you'll get an in-body scan to measure your current body composition. If you've been thinking about getting in better shape physically and mentally, now is the time to take action. This $59 investment can be a game changer for you. All you have to do is go to lifeinattleboro.com and you'll see the link right there on the homepage. I'll also include the link in the show notes of this episode. Confidence Fitness is located at 453 South Main Street. Confidence Fitness. Strength for life, strength for sports. And now, on to the show. You are listening to the Life in Attleboro Podcast, where we interview the city's most interesting people who are making a positive difference in our community. Today's episode is about something that most of us might have to experience: taking care of an aging loved one. It can be challenging, stressful, sad, even depressing, but there is help out there. That's why I'm excited to introduce you to a friend of mine. Her name is Daniela Masters, and she's the owner of Aging Well Advocates. She and her team can help ease everything that comes along with caring for an elder, from healthcare, housing, money, legal services, and more. I learned a lot in my discussion with Daniela, and I hope you do too. Here's episode 25 of the Life in Attleboro Podcast. Okay, joining me now is Daniela Masters. Daniela is the owner of Aging Well Advocates. She's an Aging Well life care manager who helps elders and their families through the challenges of aging. It can be stressful and very challenging to take care of a parent or a loved one in their later years of life, and Daniela and her amazing team take a lot of those challenges away. I actually met Daniela in a business networking group back in 2019 before the pandemic, and I can confirm Daniela has a heart of gold and is so professional and caring. So Daniela, thank you so much for being a guest on the Life in Attleboro podcast.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I wanted to have you on because I'm hoping you can potentially help our listeners, or at least get them thinking about how to prepare if they ever need help caring for a loved one. So first question, Daniela, what is Aging Well Advocates and why is that so important to you?
Aging Well Advocates is a company that I started in 2018. I am a social worker by trade. I have worked with elders and their families for over 30 years. I've worked in long-term care settings, assisted living settings, and acute care hospital settings. And it was really just feeling like all I was doing was putting Band-Aids on situations. We would see the same people coming in and out of the hospital. Nothing really had changed with their support system to help them be successful in the community. We actually had a client, a patient at the hospital that had a care manager. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? I don't know what that is. So I started doing some research, and lo and behold, there's an entire association, the Aging Life Care Association. Nice. So I investigated and I thought, this is really something I would like to do to give me the opportunity to really meet my clients, meet their families, be in their setting to help them in any way possible, with the goal always being for them to have the best quality of life as possible.
Wow.
So I jumped in 2018, and it has been so unbelievably rewarding, truly rewarding, getting to know all of my clients and their families. And at the end of each day, feeling like I actually made a difference.
Wow. Daniela, the first time, I don't think I've ever told you this, but the first time you and I spoke, the first time we met at the business networking group, I could just tell like how caring and compassionate you are. So this just so matches just your personality and everything you are all about. So congratulations. And you do make a difference. So thank you. When it comes to caring for a parent or a loved one, it's not just their health. There's financial aspect, the housing situation, legal possibilities, and much more. So you and your team actually specialize in 8 areas of knowledge to make the overall process less stressful for everybody. So besides the health of an aging family member, what else do you and your team help with?
So we do a complete assessment of them in their environment. And we do focus on legal aspects, including advanced directives like healthcare proxies, durable powers of attorney, a MOLST. We do have to ask about financial situation. I know that's a really touchy subject for a lot of people.
But an important one.
Really important in order for us to really put the puzzle together to find the right resources they need. We do need to have somewhat of an understanding of what their financial picture looks like. We look at the environment they're in. So if someone is living in their home, we do a thorough assessment of their home, making sure that if there are recommendations for equipment needs or things that need to be moved in the house or taken out to make it a safer environment for them to be in. We look at things like emergency response systems. We look at resources that are available to them, whether it's visiting nurse services that they could qualify for or private home care services. We do see if they qualify at all with the state-run services. Some of our clients do, some of our clients do not qualify for those. Okay. But we really try to look at the entire picture because we need bits and information of all of those pieces to put the best plan in place for them.
And important to note here that you're not just helping the aging adult. You also work very closely with their children or the loved ones who are trying to care for them because it can be a very overwhelming emotional experience and it can lead to burnout, to be honest.
We work incredibly close with the loved ones, whether it is a family, a friend. Some of my clients don't have either of those things and they have an attorney. And that's really all they have as their loved one, essentially. Oftentimes, we work even more with the support system because the client, depending upon their cognitive status, may not understand their deficits, may not have any insight into those deficits, which makes the situation a little bit more challenging. And that's where building a rapport with that individual, building a bit of a trust with them helps us move the client forward slowly into making things safer for them.
Gotcha. All makes sense. So let's run through an example here, Daniela. So let's say someone's mother is living alone. They're in their early 80s and they're starting to show signs that they can no longer live independently. Perhaps a medical condition is coming to light, like Alzheimer's. All of a sudden, that person's son or daughter begins to worry and wonder what happens next. So they pick up the phone and they call you. What are you going to be able to do to help that family?
The first thing, we offer a 30-minute free introductory call to anyone that calls us to give them a little bit more information about what we do and also just to obtain a little more information about their current situation to make sure that we are going to be able to serve them. The first thing we would do if they decided to move forward and hire aging well advocates to help them out, be part of their care team. We have the family do a 6 to 7 page family assessment. So it's a very thorough assessment that we give them. The more information we can get through that assessment, the easier it is for us because we don't want to be pummeling the client with questions, right? Sure. That's not going to help us build a relationship. So we want to go in building a relationship, having that information already so that we can tailor the conversation based on that. Gotcha. So once we assess the client and assess what the client's goals are, as well as what the family's goals are, we put together a roadmap of recommendations where we are very thorough and we address many areas such as the legal, the financial, housing options, support options, all of those things that we mentioned earlier. And we actually will put links in there as well. If we are recommending a shower chair, we'll put the link in there so they don't have to go and think, what is a shower chair? Where do I get it? Nope. There's already a link there for them. Great. They can click on it, look at it. And then at that point, it's really up to the client and the family about how much more we do. So I like to offer that to them. We can help them with all of those aspects. Some families want help with all of those aspects. Some families will say, I really just need you to focus on these 3 things, and we're going to take care of the rest. So it becomes really a partnership.
Okay.
It becomes a partnership. Because our services are private pay services, we try to be incredibly respectful of the client and the family. So we just don't book a tour and decide that we're going to go take the client on this tour without having approval and permission from everyone along the way.
I gotcha. Great. Just an incredible service. And I like the fact that it's up to the client and their families how involved you and your team are. That's very personalized care. Is there anything else that you'd like the people of Attleboro to know about yourself or Aging Well Advocates?
I think one of the most important things, Mike, is we often get phone calls when that crisis has occurred. Right? Just like you were mentioning, mom is slipping. All of a sudden, mom has a fall. Now, mom is in the hospital. Maybe she has come to rehab, and families, oh my gosh, now what do we do? Of course, we can help them in that situation. Of course, we can help them, and we can help them very quickly in that situation. And that is the benefit of having a number of care managers on my team. So one of us will be able to get to them. Ideally, I would love it for individuals that are even starting to think mom and dad are getting older. We're a little bit anxious about what's next, to just book a one hour consultation. They may not need any services at this point, and that's okay. But if we are able to get in there and look at the situation and give them a bit of a framework about what to expect next, that can potentially really help them down the road. I can't say the crisis isn't going to happen.
Sure.
Those crises are going to happen. As we age, it's going to happen to all of us. But if you have already prepared, you are going to be in so much better shape when that crisis happens. I think that's the piece that I would love to just educate people more, that aging life care managers exist.
Yeah.
And we can just do a 1 hour consultation to really open their eyes to what this potentially could look like down the road.
Absolutely.
So they can plan accordingly.
Yeah. Just knowing your options, right? That's
knowing your options.
Having information, it's huge. Like you said, make all the difference. Anything else you'd like to add?
Anyone can call at any time. And if there's something that we feel like we can't handle, we will give them resources of where to go. Or if they are out of our geographical area, Attleboro is very much in our geographical area. Yep. But if they have a loved one, let's say in Connecticut or such, because that happens, we still call. We will hook them up with a care manager in that area to help them.
Great. Such a great service, Daniela. Daniela Masters, owner of Aging Well Advocates. You truly do have a heart of gold. And I'm so glad you were willing to be a guest on the Life in Attleboro podcast, because you are all about being positive and helping people when they need it most. So thank you again, my friend. I really appreciate you.
Thanks so much.
Daniela really is a great person and a great resource, so keep her in mind when and if the time ever comes. I'll post the link to her website in the show notes of this episode. Hey, I want to tell you about our new sponsor, Hoban Accounting Services. If you're a small business owner, you know how much of a hassle it can be to keep track of every penny earned and every penny spent. But thankfully, Hoban Accounting Services is on a mission to heal your headaches and fizzle your frustration when it comes to crunching those pesky numbers. Hoban Accounting Services has helped local businesses for more than 7 years. That's when Nicole Hoban, a proud mother of twin girls, launched her business. She's a QuickBooks Pro advisor with tons of awards to her name. If you mention the Life in Attleboro podcast, you'll get 10% off for your first 6 months. If you'd like to support a small business owner in our city, just tap the link in the show notes of this episode and Nicole will be in touch. Hoban Accounting Services. A great bookkeeper should be an asset, not an expense. More than 600 people have signed up for the Life in Attleboro email list. Are you one of them? If not, you're missing out on exclusive benefits, including early access to every new podcast episode, special savings at Attleboro restaurants and businesses, behind-the-scenes videos and insight, and you'll stay in the know about cool events in our great city. Just go to lifeinattleboro.com, and you'll see the sign-up display right there on the homepage. And if you know someone who would make a great guest on our podcast, please shoot us an email at lifeinattleboro@gmail.com. That's it for today. Life in Attleboro is a great thing. Support our community, promote positivity, and make a stranger smile. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Life in Attleboro podcast.